What's up, everybody? Robert Bolden,
Kori Winters.
Sonny Bolden, and we're back to talk a little bit about the process.
The wedding planning process.
Yeah, wedding planning process, and it is a process with a lot of moving parts. So our intention is to break down a few of those different parts over time, but today we'll kind of give the general overview of what that looked like for us in our relationship. So I guess we can go back to
we got engaged. That's where we kind of left off.
Yeah, we got engaged, and literally right after that, one day after our engagement, we were already
planning.
Yeah, already planning and starting the process and getting things going. So it kind of started with, well, even before this moment, we had been, so I'm a financial advisor and had been working with Kori as well as my own stuff to keep track of things. I knew what her income was. I knew what her expenses were. I knew her credit. I knew everything about Kori. So
I was like, I better marry this man. This man better marry me because he know all my business.
I knew everything. So it was very easy with us already having had that conversation when we decided to go ahead and get engaged and start combining finances. You don't have to scramble and figure everything out. So we already had a budget, which I knew. I had mine, she had hers, and then the day after getting engaged, your aunt gave us something helpful in a spreadsheet. She sent us a spreadsheet. She's like talking my language all the way, and it has like all of the price points for things we would need, like for
it's like estimated price. Well, she sent a binder. Like she get the binder.
Yeah, go with it. Yeah.
So she gave me this binder, and it says Kori's Amazing Elegant Wedding Celebration, and it's basically all.
Picture. That's a cute picture.
She included this. So this was like.
And this
Shout out to Aunt Diane. She is literally the best.
Picture right here with all the little sparklies and stuff. I thought that was pretty cool.
And our engagement date on the back. Like, so my Aunt Diane is just, she is top tier. She's like the wedding planner of our family. She actually planned my parents' wedding, uncles and aunts, my sister's wedding. Like, she's just loves, and she's a dentist. So this is like not even her career. This is her passion.
Yeah.
Like, she just does this for fun. So she sent me like all of these cool things, like this binder of like all the stuff to think about for our wedding, like the guests and our story and the guest list. This is a rough draft of our guest list, y'all. So
you had to X that out so don't nobody be looking too
registry, like just all the things, like a very organized, curated binder of things that we would need to keep in mind. Start planning the wedding. Like, so this was a great foundation. For
in addition,
us.
There was a spreadsheet. What was on the spreadsheet? It was just price points or average price points.
It was like, it was a table, a chart of like, estimated price points for different vendors and stuff like that. So we had something to work from in terms of putting together a budget, which was like literally the first thing we did before we even started planning.
And that was key because you kind of have to know what you can afford first before you start looking at what you want to have.
Exactly.
Exactly. A lot of people get that part mixed up, just not from my opinion, but from conversations. They say that they start with the venue. They go with the venue first without having any type of context of their budget. So you latch yourself onto this thing, and then whether it be way over your price point or not, you're latched onto it because that's what you started with.
Yeah. So you commit before you have the full context of what you're actually working with.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how we did it was we did go and look at venues. We looked at 2 venues, and actually the venue that we are having our wedding and reception at, Rob actually found this venue before we even got engaged.
I've been very involved.
He has been like, he's very even keeled about things. Like, he's not super picky, but he has been very involved in the process. And so,
yeah, fellas, make sure y'all involved. You gotta know what's going on,
he's been
man.
doing really good. But he found the venue, and I absolutely fell in love with it because anyone who knows us, anyone who knows me, first of all, if you know me, you know that I am a straight up Bridgerton girl. Like, I love all things Bridgerton. Rob cannot stand Bridgerton.
I've yet to watch it.
Yeah, he just hates listening. Like, when I'm watching, he's like, "You watching Bridgerton again?" But anyway, I am a Bridgerton girl. I love classic, elegant style. We both love historic architecture. So this place that Rob found, it's like a historic estate with the most gorgeous grounds and gardens.
Literally, as soon as I saw it, I was like, yeah, we gotta get married here.
Yes. And so he sent it to me. I had never heard of it before, and he sent it to me. He found it on Wedding Wire. He had downloaded the Wedding Wire app.
I told her about that. I'm like, look, you gotta get this. They got everything we need in here.
So we had already kind of started doing a little bit of pre-planning, like
before we got engaged. Yeah.
But anyway, so I saw this venue. I was absolutely in love with it. I was like, I have to see this venue. But we went and saw another venue before there. We went to Colony Club in Detroit. And then we went and got a price point for them. And then we went to Meadowbrook. And as soon as we saw Meadowbrook, we just looked at each other and was like, okay, yeah, this is where we're getting married.
Yeah.
But all that to say, we got the price points for the venue. And the great thing about our venue is that they actually have catering included as well. Yeah, so that was a huge check off the 2-for-1 special.
You definitely want to consider that, because that's where I feel like things add on and kind of take this snowball effect and gradually grow. Mm-hmm. When you do the catering, then you talk about the flowers, then you talk about the chairs, then you talk about all these different things. Mm-hmm. You don't really, it's intangible because it's not on paper yet. It was for us because we had it on paper and we saw it these are all itemized listings that you got to pay for. But most people lump those things together in their mind and just be like, I'm gonna just go.
We just gonna do it. I want what I want. So we went and scoped out the venues, got the price points for that, and then we sat down and Rob pulled out a spread. It was pulled out his Excel spreadsheet and was like, okay, basically, how long is it gonna take for us to pay off this venue?
Yeah, first it was starting from what we have coming in.
Yeah.
Minus expenses. Income minus expenses equals whatever is left.
Whatever is left.
And from that, this is how much we can or cannot put away per month to hit whatever goal.
Right.
So we had 1 year. It was a year, right? October to
it was 11 months.
Plus or minus a year. 11 months to hit a goal, and that's what we based it off of.
Yeah, that's what we based. So we were like, okay, by this date, and that's how we chose the wedding date.
Yeah, yep.
That's how we chose the wedding date. We were like, okay, so by this month, we will have been able to save up this much to pay for the wedding. And we factored in also that we got price points, not just for the venue, but literally within after a month of being engaged, we had pretty much all of the price points for all the vendors. Yeah. We had price points for the photographer, videographer, florist, who else? Florist,
DJ, music,
DJ, wedding dress, suit,
yeah.
Everything, literally everything that we would have to pay for. We're like, okay, we need to get the actual price points for this stuff so we know how much we need to save up for our wedding and how much we need to put. So we worked from that. Like Rob said, we looked at how much we were bringing in from both of our salaries, income, what our expenses were, and what we had left from that to cover all of our expenses and to save for the wedding. So we each were like, okay, this is how much we each can save for the wedding every month. Mm-hmm. We opened up a wedding account.
Yeah, we did. We opened a joint bank account.
Joint bank account.
So this is the first account that we have together.
Right. Yep. So we opened a joint bank account where we started putting away our savings for the wedding, because what we said was that we are not going into debt over one day. Yeah, like that was our promise.
So the whole premise of it was that, just again, making sure all of our bases are covered. Mm-hmm. So if you have the budget, you know what you can afford, you know what you like, and based on the budget, you can tell if that's going to be okay or not. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we're like, if we are going to pick a venue, we're not going to go into debt to do it. We're not going to go into debt to go into a marriage. And we believe that we should have a clean slate coming out of this thing so that we can actually progress. Because the wedding is just literally a day.
One day.
The start of the marriage. So to start behind makes no sense at all.
Yeah. To start in the whole.
Yeah.
So we were just like, yeah. And if we can't do it, then we just not. We gonna have to figure out something else.
Scale it back a little
Gotta
bit.
scale it back. But God has been so faithful throughout this process. We've had people.
We have tremendous friends, bro.
Like, bro.
God bless our friends. We are tremendous.
I mean, we have budgeted for these things, but we literally have a friend who told us that they're gonna gift us all of the floral arrangements for the wedding.
God bless you, my brother. God bless for the floral. I got
his suit, his tux.
My homeboy picked up my tux.
His best man.
What else did we?
DJ. like, I got the place where I got my wedding dress from gifted me the veil. Like $500 veil. Like,
these are big, and the flowers is pretty much the biggest one.
Yeah, the flowers are the biggest expense. So I'm just like, God has really been, and we budgeted for all of this stuff, so we were prepared to pay for everything. But God has really like just been showing up.
I always say you do impossible math.
Yes.
Because that didn't make sense at all. I'm like, whoa, y'all want to pay for what? All right, bet. You got it. No problem.
Like, literally. So, but all that to say, just giving, an overview of the process, we really just started with, okay, what can we afford? Well, we did say, what do we want? We're going to get married at the venue that we initially wanted and envisioned for us to have our wedding.
Yeah.
But we were realistic in how we approached it, in that, okay, this is the cost of the venue. This is the cost of the vendors. How much are we bringing in? What are our expenses now? And how much can we save? And by what time? And that's how we landed on the wedding date.
So literally it was, by having all of these things, like I said, this was the next day that this process started.
Yeah.
So within a month, we pretty much had
75-80%
of everything done. Probably more than that. It didn't take long at all.
Outline. Yeah, everything. And it's crazy because when you go in with like the bigger picture in mind, and you know how much you're saving, that's like the stress right there. Now, I will say my least favorite part has been doing the guest list. Like that, I would say, and that hasn't even been stressful. It's just been annoying. Like, it's been more annoying than anything, but it hasn't been like, oh my gosh, I'm losing sleep over this. But when you go into it with, a goal, or like what's the word I'm looking for? You go into it.
You know what the mission is.
Yeah, you know what the mission is.
You have an expected
outcome. You have the bigger picture in mind. We were very firm on not going into debt over the wedding. Like, and we know how much we're saving every month. We know what expenses for the wedding each month are coming out.
And we'll show that too in some
Yeah,
of the
we're
future
gonna
videos,
go into a deeper
like
dive.
what the budget look like, what the expense sheet look like, how we're checking stuff off
How
as
we're
we pay
checking
for
stuff
it.
off. Yep.
And just keeping tabs of everything, because
Yep.
it's so much. If you don't have it in a tangible place that you can see, you'll lose track.
You'll lose track of it. And so we make sure that we check in and say, okay, this is how much we have left. Even deposits that we've made. We have a deposit on, we made a deposit for our photographer and videographer. Okay, this is how much we have left. This is, and my parents, are helping out. Our family has contributed and helped out with the venue as well. So, how much they've contributed versus how much, all of these things we're keeping in mind. But that's the heavy lifting right there. Because people ask me, oh my gosh, are you so stressed? Like, how's it?
She over here having a blast.
I'm like, honestly, I promise y'all, I'm not making this up. I promise y'all, I'm not like sugarcoated or whatever. Like, I have been having fun. Now, I will say, when it got to the guest list, I took a month off. Like, I wrote out the rough draft of the guest list. And then when we started getting into, oh, don't forget to invite this person, this person, this person. Then I was like, okay, I need to take a little break and then come back. So we're back in it. We ordered the invitations. So everything is cool, but it has not been a stressful process. Like, it has been really fun.
Yeah.
Like, it's been fun. It's been a smooth process. I mean, that's really all I can say. And that's because, again, we went in with we were very intentional about it.
And it's like, in any moment, like at the engagement, that's not when the work starts. It's like what you do leading up to that moment. So I think it's important to have like money conversations. This is a very big thing for relationships. When you combine finances, it's a big deal, and it can be difficult to do. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we can dive into some of those things, that you guys know what some of those processes and things look like in our relationship in particular. But yeah, this is a big one, like that process and combining finances and kind of looking at the big picture to make it happen in the way that you have it in your head. Yeah, it's a big thing. So so that's pretty much the overview. We talked about how we've done premarital counseling, and just, in addition to the wedding planning, just the preparation, like preparing for marriage. Actually, like, I feel like Rob and I have like had a great relationship, but I feel like it's a whole nother level now. Like, we're learning each other in new ways. We're learning to communicate in new ways, and it's just a whole new level of that. So we can dive into that too. Yeah. But yeah, all good things. This was good though. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure you like, subscribe, share it with somebody who you think who would find it helpful. Let us know what you think. If you have any feedback, we'll just leave it in the comments, and we'll get back to you.
Or anything else, any other topics you want to see us cover and talk about from our perspective and experiences. So,
for sure.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Good seeing you guys, and we look forward to next time. Have a good one.